very good morning to you. This is a fantastic day for some rugby action. We are at the RFUEA Grounds for the Elgon Cup. We've got three big games today. We've got the Kenya under-19 going to be taking on the Ugandan under-19. And then, of course, we have the ladies team. I mean, it's been battle royale all through. And finally, the big one is going to be Kenya A taking on the Ugandan side in a game that people are going to be interested in watching, given the fact that last weekend Kenya lost to Uganda in Kampala at Chadondo Stadium. But just a brief history about the Elgon Cup. It's basically a tournament that is played between Kenya and Uganda on away and home basis. Started off in 2004. I'm joined here by former Kenya International 15s coach, Mike Tanko Chien. Of course, he's played his rugby, dedicated his life to rugby. Tank, welcome.
Thank you very much, Lani. Thank you.
Now, just getting off the blocks, Elgon Cup is here. The team went down to Chadondo Stadium in Kampala last weekend. Kenya lost to Uganda. The ladies team are actually the only team that brought glory to the Kenyan side, winning their game. Under-19 lost. What is it that they did wrong there that they can change today?
No, basically, first of all, what people need to realize, it is not the Kenya national team.
Yes.
It is Kenya A.
It's Kenya A.
It's Kenya A that is playing. So really, and the reason why we are doing that is that we want to give an opportunity, we want to build depth.
Yes.
You see? And generally, from last weekend's game, there were a lot of missed opportunities that we saw from the Kenya A side. In fact, they ought to have won that game comfortably.
Yes.
Yeah, but as you know, the Elgon Cup is a question of aggregate score. And for the Kenya A team, we are chasing 8 points.
Yes.
For the under-19s, we are chasing 6 points. For the women, we are already ahead.
In it, yes.
So I don't see an issue today for the Kenya side.
For the Kenyan sides, no issue
I don't
today.
see a problem.
But then again, you might, say the fact that the Ugandan side, they're very physical at the forwards.
Yeah.
They've got good forwards, and they might actually just take the game there because, our forwards have been a bit wanting this past couple of weeks.
Yeah, but what I noticed last weekend is that as much as the Ugandans are very physical up front, our defense was extremely good. And that's why they could not pile up more scores, more points. And our attack was really what was wanting, especially the finishing.
Yes.
Because whenever we reached the line, like there were 3 or 4 clear tries that we knocked on.
Okay, for the first game that you're going to have is going to be the Kenya under-19, and of course under the tutelage of Paul Muronga Pau. He's been with these lads for quite a while, and they just lost the opportunity to take the game in Chadondo Stadium in Kampala, but they have a chance to redeem themselves here. Do you think that he's receiving enough support for him to be able to develop a proper under-19 side that can contest not only in Uganda, but other teams across the world?
Yeah, actually, we have really tried to give him as much support as possible, and that is even going to change. Yes. Because right now, we want to put more of our money in this team, because we are now talking of 2019 World Cup.
Yes, we are.
Since we missed
the opportunity in Madagascar.
in Madagascar 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So really, where we're going to put our money is in this team.
Under-19 team.
Under-19 team.
So Paul Muronga is receiving more support in the coming months.
Even more support after this game. And as you take note, this is the first Elgon Cup under-19. Yes. So that already you can see is support.
That's a very key, interesting talking point, because we've always had the Elgon Cup. I started off in 2004 for the men's side. Then the ladies team came up in 2006. And now the under-19 was introduced in 2014. What was the key idea behind introducing under-19 in this year's Elgon Cup?
No, we've been talking with Uganda for actually the last 1 year.
Yes.
On this particular fixture. We've been talking with Uganda.
We are good to go.
And like I've said, we want to start putting more of our money at the bottom instead of at the top. We've been doing things a bit in the reverse.
Building the house from the roof down.
From the roof down, you know, and really that ought to change.
Yes.
All right, so that we want to make sure that now when it reaches 2019, there are not going to be any chances.
Okay.
We are going to play in that World Cup.
We're going to play in that World Cup.
We are going to play in that World Cup.
The thing also, people might argue, is the issues of consistency.
Yeah.
Kenyan rugby, we're not really professional rugby. But can we assume that Pau is going to maintain more or less the same structure of play and the same players until we get there?
Yeah, actually, part of some structures we want to put to between now and 2019 is coming out with a high performance setup, where we are actually going to have specialist coaches trained. We're going to have forwards coach, we're going to have a defense coach, we're going to have a kicking coach. You know those special areas which will ensure that at all levels of our play, whether it's under 19, under 16, or Kenya A, or senior team, we have the same approach to the game. Yeah.
Because I would like to hear some feedback from Uganda as well, because in Uganda, if we are going to have high training institutions here in Kenya, we'd like to see the same replicated in Uganda, so at least in terms of challenges and the opponents, we have worthy opponents. Because the problem I think with Kenyan rugby for the longest time is that you haven't been receiving a quality opposition for you to be able to test your mettle against the bigger teams.
Precisely.
So, probably the thing about developing Ugandan rugby as well, because their brothers are across the border, if they develop, we also develop. So the Elgon Cup, under 19, introduced this year with a vision of qualifying for the 2019 World Cups. Definitely hope the team is going to get there. Let's talk about the ladies team.
Yes, ladies, as you also might be aware, or you might not be aware, our ladies are on the verge of qualifying for the IRB Ladies Series. Yeah, they're going to play in Hong Kong in September. And if they reach the semi-finals, then they are going to qualify for the series for the ladies. And for us, that is a big step forward, because that really is what's going to help, since the IRB takes care of most of the expenses. So again, most of our money is also going to be put on the ladies after this fixture for today. Because
I mean, they have an opportunity of getting the world stage. I think it only deserves for them to go all the way.
Precisely.
Now, we are playing with our brothers from across the border, Uganda. I mean, we would like to see the same growth and development of sport across the board. You might not be speaking for the Ugandan Rugby Federation, but then again, in terms of promoting the ladies' side in Uganda, we'd like to see our East African brothers and sisters also qualifying at the top notch. Maybe we can give lessons to Uganda as well in terms of, how to approach the game. Because, Kenya doing well already, we'd like to see the same replicated across the board, so that we have an East African competition that is actually formidable, that can actually, give quality opposition when you get to the top stages where that's not knocked about.
Yeah, Larry, that is really why, we had this opportunity of saying that this year we don't play the Elgon Cup. Because, our team, unfortunately, we left our neighbors a bit far, and they have now gone back to Group 1C. They've now been relegated to Group 1C. And that's why we insisted that let the Elgon Cup be played, but let's field the Kenya A. Because if we had not had the Elgon Cup, it would have been worse for Uganda than for us. You see, and really that's why we insisted on this fixture. The regional balance in the game must continue. Yes, and we must also go to Tanzania. We must go to Rwanda. Because of the aspects of expenses. So the regional competitions must continue, and we must help them. To be able to come up to the standards where we can compete.
Now, Kenya A. People might argue that they actually wanted to see the Kenya Simba taking onto the pitch. Why the choice of fielding Kenya A? Apart from just giving the opportunity to the other young lads to have a go.
No, really, if you remember when we played Uganda in Madagascar last year, it was 60-something.
It was a rout.
It was a rout. And really, that's not what we are looking for. That's really not what we were looking for.
So it's not helping them, it's
not helping them, it's not helping us. And that's precisely why we said, let us field a Kenya A side, so that the game can at least be competitive.
So, Uganda, they were relegated. Kenya right now ranked 31, is it?
Really.
So it's basically to give them a fair chance at having quality opposition without it necessarily looking like a rout. And also giving the youngsters a chance to have a run. Now you've been coach for the national team severally. And I know approaching the game today, if you're coach for Kenya A, what would you do different today?
No, definitely they made a couple of mistakes in terms of their basics. And I hope the coaches have worked on their basics for this week. Because let me tell you, I don't forgive knock-ons.
Knock-ons are
at this level.
You cannot. Knock-ons cannot be forgiven at this level. At this level, international level.
And especially when the line is there. You're approaching the line. and then you knock the ball.
I will tell you this for free. When he was coaching me some time back, you knock on the ball, you would do push-ups, you would run around the field for like 30 minutes. It was unforgivable. So you say basic mistakes not accepted.
Those basics, I hope the coaches have corrected them.
Okay.
Yeah, really. And if they can, because the defense was pretty good actually. Yeah. I mean, the Ugandans went physical up front, but the Kenya A held out. You see, so if they can just work on especially their back line and just work on the basics.
But tactically speaking, we are okay.
We are okay. We are okay. We will be able to take them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, coming into this game, now, there was actually, there's this battle that is still going on between the ladies' team.
Yeah.
The ladies went to Kampala. They won the game against the Ugandans. Coming home, do you think that there might be some laxity? I know Coach Kevin Wambua is very, very tough, and he was actually speaking about hitting them, up front, being very tough on defense, and then waiting for the counter-attack. As an approach, do you think that is a valid approach in terms of just waiting for the counter-attack?
No, what I can tell you, I've seen the body language of these ladies.
Yes.
These ladies are looking beyond the Elgon Cup.
Okay.
These ladies are looking at Hong Kong in September. They're looking at playing in the World Series.
So they're actually not even taking this game for what it is they're training for.
Yeah, that win in Kampala for them was
a key moment.
They achieved their target.
Yeah.
And today, I don't think they're looking at losing to Uganda at all.
True.
They're looking beyond this.
Because the score in Kampala was for the ladies. All they need to do is, for example, if the game ended in a draw, they're okay. They win the Elgon Cup for the ladies.
Yeah.
But do you see maybe the Ugandans wanting to post revenge and beating the ladies on home turf?
Of course. The Ugandan ladies definitely, you know that they are the defending champions of the Elgon Cup.
Yeah.
And the Ugandans, I can tell you, don't take it when they lose at home. It's really bad for Uganda.
Yeah.
So really, I know they felt it when our ladies beat them last weekend. So I know they're coming full out.
Okay, so we have the ladies team, we have the under-19s that was introduced this year as a way of preparing the lads so that we can focus on future tournaments. The ladies actually, under-19s actually looking forward to the 2019 World Cup. That is the team that Kenya wants to build, and definitely hope that we don't leave our Ugandan brothers behind. Because it's going to be a bit of a catastrophe that Kenya is excelling. We're still holding competitions with the Ugandan side, but always providing a second string Kenyan side.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to matters Kenyans and their claim to see some of their stars on the pitch, rugby is also an issue of the fans. The fans want to see your Collins Injeras, they want to see Humphrey Kayange running on the pitch. Do you think, like, for example, they could have been here today for this cup?
No, you see, on the long term, Larry, we have plans for our senior team.
Yes.
We have big plans for our senior team. We have plans of playing teams like Hong Kong, teams like Portugal.
Yes.
We almost got Portugal to come.
True.
Yeah, really. And just because of one or two things that were happening at that particular time, they could come. So definitely, there is no way that we are going to deny the Kenyans an opportunity to see the senior team.
To see their stars.
Yeah, but we want them to see their stars where we are competing.
Okay.
Yeah, where
like
we're
against,
competing.
Western Province the last time we were here, against Portugal.
Against Portugal, against Hong Kong. That's the kind of level that we want to go to now for our senior team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of, for example, what is the future, not only, we've discussed the Kenyan side, the future for Uganda. They were relegated. If you were, for example, in charge of the Ugandan side, what advice would you give them now in terms of looking forward to the future so they can also improve their ratings? Because I remember Uganda was quite a formidable team back in the years. They used to compete here. They beat Kenya severally in the Elgon Cup. Yeah. What next for Uganda?
No, we are in talks with Uganda, and I can tell you our long-term plan for this particular day is to go down to under 16.
Really?
Yes. We are looking at having not just the Elgon Cup.
Yeah.
We're looking at having an Elgon Day.
Okay.
Yes.
So where we have your under 16s.
Yes. Under 16s, under 19s, and both of us are talking and putting our monies down at that level. And once you can support those programs, your junior elite programs, you're never going to have a problem with your senior teams.
So actually you are doing this cross-border union, you're working together.
We are in discussions, and I can tell you, the only problem we're having now is that we don't have a sponsor.
Yeah.
If we can have a sponsor for this event, we'll go down to the under 16 level. And we have an Elgon Day, where we start from 8 in the morning. And same for the ladies.
Those are big plans.
Big plans. You see, but money
Yeah. So if you are sponsors out there listening to this,
yeah, really,
we are making the appeal officially on behalf of East African Rugby.
Yeah.
Please bring your money in. We'd like to see from under 16, under 19, the ladies team, the senior teams, all of them on one day of fantastic rugby action.
Even 2 days.
Even 2 days.
Even 2 days.
Across the border, home and away basis.
Home and away basis.
And then, of course, all in the name of promoting the sport. Now, just as we wind up, something we did, was it this year when we held a concerted effort? Kenya and Uganda were playing British County, a team from the UK.
Yes.
Where we had our staff from, nowadays it's playing NFL, but Dana Dongo joining the team.
Yeah.
We had Kenya and Uganda providing one team to battle against a UK side.
Yes.
Is that the kind of coordination you're talking about?
That's the kind of coordination we're talking about. And even that aspect of combining, if we had again a sponsor for it, we might have been able to
sustain
make
it even longer.
Sustain it even longer. Yeah, but really, we found it to be very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. In
First
terms
of all, bring the team down.
Bringing the team down and then conducting training between the two countries.
So it all boils down to issues of finances. If you want quality opposition, it all boils down to finances.
Yes.
So once again, you're making that appeal. If you're listening to us, we basically need support for the East African rugby to grow. Now, we have age grade rugby.
Yes.
Are we seeing the same thing in Uganda, replicating it there? Because, it's mothers rugby that we're discussing here.
Yeah.
Are we thinking about replicating the same in Uganda, or they don't have a program like that?
No, I think right now what I can tell you is that the International Rugby Board has got a development program which they are spreading across the regions.
Yes.
It's called the Get Into Rugby. And that is what we are adopting, both Kenya and Uganda. Where below the age of 14, we are now talking of elite programs. We're talking of participation.
Okay.
Yeah, where we use touch rugby, tag rugby, and we just increase participation below that age. Elite programs will start after 14.
Okay.
That's why I'm talking of under 16. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely hope that all this is going to come to fruition.
Yeah.
And we wish both teams well. We're going to start off with the first game, that is Kenya under 19 taking on Uganda under 19 in the Elgon Cup, introduced for the first time this year, 2014. We'll be right back after this. Go and enjoy some action. We're bringing it to you live on Zuku Sports.
Witness the top athletes from all across the globe as they compete for glory in the biggest IAAF events, including the World Championships, Diamond League, and many more. Live on Zuku Sports.
Every week, Motorsport Mondial brings you petrol heads up to date with all the latest high-speed action from the fast-paced world of motorsports. If it has an engine and travels at high speed, then it's gonna be featured on Motorsport Mondial. 2 wheels, 4 wheels, or no wheels, Motorsport Mondial brings you the very best high-octane action every week. Motorsport Mondial, brand new episodes every Saturday only on Zuku Sports. We know you love getting your groove on and following the drama in the big house.
This is the very last day for President Anteri.
If you missed them, catch up. Back-to-back episodes of Group Theory and State House on an all-new Zuku Entertainment.
I'm a prisoner in my own house.
Group Theory and State House, Sundays from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. on Zuku Entertainment Channel 100.
Next on Scrum Down, the fight for East Africa's bragging rights is on. Kenya take on Uganda in the Elgon Cup. We talk to former Kenya winger Alan Makaka.
Just pick 1 or 2, go and just have fun with your friends.
And in the Legends Corner sits Harmon Sando.
Administrators have a bigger role to play now in Kenya rugby especially.
Catch all this rugby action on Scrum Down every Friday at 7:30 p.m. on Zuku Sports.
A very good afternoon to you here at the RFUEA Grounds. It's Elgon Cup day here at the RFUEA Grounds along Gong Road. Kenya versus Uganda, and the first game of the day is Kenya under 19. My name is William Juguna. is none other than Michael Kwambo. Very good afternoon to Michael Kwambo.
Good afternoon, William. It's nice to see you after a bit of a break.
Yes. The last game we did was, of course, Kenya versus Western Province over a month ago. But now it's Elgon Cup Day. Remember, it's Kenya under-19 first in action, then followed later by the Kenya Lionesses against the Lady Cranes, and then the big one, of course, at 4 p.m. when Kenya A face Uganda. Let me repeat that again. It's Kenya A facing Uganda in the big game at 4 o'clock. But first things first, let's talk about the under-19 team, because remember, they played last week in Kampala, and the Kenya team lost by 15 points to 10, so it's still a very tight game. And the second leg is about to start in the next 20 minutes. Michael Kwambo, your thoughts of what to expect and what to expect in the other two games?
Well, first of all, my thoughts on the under-19 game is that it's going to be a very good game, going to be a very tight game. Already the scoreline indicates that, because from the first leg, Uganda's Baby Cranes leading the Kenya under-19 team, popularly known as Chipu, 15-10, a game that I did not attend, but reading the match reports and journals written in the press, you get that it was a tight game, and I do expect that it's going to be a close game. And I think also that it's going to set the tone for this afternoon. A lot of close games all through and through.
Absolutely, Mike. Well said, by the way. It'll definitely set the tone. Remember, both teams are using this game as a warm-up, if I may say, for the Confederation of African Rugby Under-19 tournament expected to be played in Namibia next month. So both sides with a lot to prove. Because just looking at this week, remember, I was following the Craven week, and I saw Namibia and Zimbabwe were playing. And that's the kind of opposition we're going to be playing with, I think, next month, Michael Kwambo, if I'm not wrong.
It is, although the Ugandans are going to be playing in the Division 1B Championships, which they are hosting in Kampala. Kenya are the ones who are in Division 1A, and they'll be playing against Zimbabwe and Namibia. But having said that, it's still going to be a good test for both teams in terms of getting match practice, getting to know their combinations ahead of what is going to be a very challenging outing for both of them.
Yeah, remember, both sides, from the noises we're hearing from the Kenya Rugby Union, is that this is a team that will be doing duty in the next 3 to 4 years for the World Cup qualifiers in 2017, 2018. So this is a big step for Kenya Rugby. They need to keep this team busy, set up the structures, get these guys motivated and competitive for the next 3 years. Because if we are to qualify for the World Cup in 2019, for the Senior Rugby World Cup, then these are the boys who will be doing duty at that World Cup if we do qualify.
Yes, and it's also good to have succession planning. It's good to have more players coming off the production line, not only for Kenya, but also for Uganda. Because remember, these are the teams who will be playing in the 4 o'clock fixture in the Elgon Cup in years to come.
Coming out first are the Ugandans, who, remember, hold a slender 5-point lead in this game. And Kenya will be doing all out to make sure that they get those 5 points as quickly as possible and win this game on aggregate. Remember, the team that wins this game on aggregate definitely will carry the day and will win the trophy. And both sides, remember, eyeing the Confederation of African Rugby 1B tournament, 1B for Uganda, 1A for Kenya next month. Uganda, of course, will be hosting the 1B tournament. Kenya will be playing in Namibia in the Tier 1, in the 1A tournament. And a lot at stake in this game. Kenya losing by 5 points last week in Kampala. And as Michael Kwamba has alluded, this is a succession plan. These are the players who probably will be playing in future Elgon Cup matches next year. And the Kenyan team enters onto the pitch right now. Sparsely, not so many fans in the stadium or in the crowd on the ground so far, but hopefully we expect more numbers as the time goes along, as we head into the afternoon with a big matchup coming up between Kenya and Uganda at 4 p.m. We should expect a sizable crowd here at the RFUEA ground. And coming up first are the national anthems of Uganda and Kenya. Is that clear? It's okay. It's okay.
Remember, if you're joining us, we're at the RFUEA Grounds on a bright July afternoon to see the Elgon Cup Under-19 Championship between Kenya's Under-19s and Uganda's Under-19s. This match is scheduled to kick off in another 4 minutes at 12 p.m. East African time. This is the first time the Elgon Cup is being played at the Under-19 level. And as has been mentioned earlier by my colleague William Njuguna, this is an introduction to the big stage for the young ones.
Yes, I can see there Kenya Rugby Union Director Dennis Ombuira Temo being greeted to the Ugandan players alongside Michael Tanko Tieno, our match referee.
Our match referee is Victor Odwar from the Central Rift Valley town of Nakuru.
Victor Odwar, your match referee. Remember, Victor Odwar ref junior rugby JWT in Hong Kong.
Yes, he
earlier
did.
this year, and has got experience in coaching at this age grade level. And Michael Tanko Tieno there passing out his salutations and best of wishes to the Kenyan Under-19 team. Got a sponsorship from Toyota, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, they did. It's a sponsorship that is geared towards nurturing the young talent. They actually have something called the Toyota Rugby Academy, which ropes in all the young talent from the talent identification centers that have been set up by the Kenya Rugby Union.
So we get the Bidon national anthem. So the players have all lined up. The players have all lined up and they are ready to go onto the pitch. Kenya Under-19 versus Uganda Under-19. Big game here.
Remember, the winner of this match on aggregate will be crowned the inaugural Elgon Cup champions at the Under-19 level. And as we keep reiterating, it would be good to see these players continuing to play for their national sides at senior level.
Absolutely, yes. This could be a marker for future tournaments and future games between these two sides, the Under-19s and the Under-10s. Remember, your match referee is Victor Odwar. This promises to be an action-packed game. Uganda known for being very strong in the set pieces, very strong scrummaging outfit. Kenya, of course, will be with their lively backs, but of course we want to lay a platform in the forwards to gain ascendancy in the backs. And we are about to kick off. It's Kenya Under-19 versus Uganda Under-19 here at the RFUEA Ground. If you're just joining us, welcome to the RFUEA Ground in Nairobi on a very warm, hot Saturday afternoon. And you can join the conversation. You can join the conversation on Twitter and Facebook.
So we're bracing ourselves for kickoff here at the RFUEA Grounds. And it looks as though the Ugandan Under-19s are the ones who are going to get this match underway. They're just having a feel of the ball right now. Waiting for the official timings from referee Victor Odwar.
Okay, ready? Black.
And they kick off.
And Uganda have kicked us off there through Robert Masendi. And Kenya retrieved the ball very well, taking it into contact, trying to clear the lines here. And that's a box kick there by Madeline Mukolwe. Mukolwe are a feature at the Bamburi Super Series, and that kick wasn't one of the best we've seen from the Ugandans, but it goes back to the center. This will be a line-out, our first line-out of the game. We have barely played a minute into this game, and it will be a Kenya line-out. Remember, Uganda holding a slender 15-10 lead from the first leg played last week. So Kenya with work to do here at the RFUEA ground here in Nairobi. The Kenyan line-out. Well taken there by the Kenyan team. Mukolwe feeds now. That's a brilliant attacking play there from
Simon
Munyafu, who comes from the very strong Munyafu clan, which has produced some excellent rugby players. Mukolwe again distributing the ball very well now. Kenya on the attack again.
That was Billy Asabwa.
Billy Asabwa there with the ball, taking the ball very well into contact. And Kenya on the ascendancy, piling the pressure, and the referee says that the Kenyan forwards have been penalized there. Kenyan forwards have been penalized. So Uganda with a respite there. Kenya looked on the attack there, very, very strong. You can see there the Kenyans are clearly with intent on the attack, but once again, infringement there. There's a Ugandan player who is receiving some treatment there on the pitch.
And that is what is holding up play at this point in time, as match referee Victor
okay?
Odwar just
okay,
standing over to make sure that it is nothing serious.
Yeah, please. Okay, so let's play on.
And the player looks to be up on his feet, albeit a bit he's limping. Looks like he took a hard knock early on.
Step back.
But it's still going to be a Ugandan penalty, and they're going to opt to get touch. And just ease off the pressure that had been mounted by the Kenyans. But Marlin Mukolo retrieves that ball. Wasn't the best of takes, but he does retrieve it. And that's Michael Wanjala playing it deep again. But there are no Kenyans on the chase. It is fielded by Uganda's Paul Epilo. Warren Nyanzom unable to deal with that high ball as the Ugandans pressuring.
Okay, Uganda can clear the lines there once again, and that will be good kick there from the Kenyan team. Finds territory and finds touch there.
Number 4, advancing forward.
And the Ugandans piling on some pressure there on the Kenyan side.
Number 4, next time stop, okay?
And Uganda have been awarded a penalty there. Uganda have been awarded a penalty, and Uganda trying to stretch their lead in this game. We've barely played 4 minutes. It's been stop-start action so far. And Uganda with a kick. No, it doesn't enter, and the kick is missed, and still 0-0 here. Uganda have missed the first penalty shot at goal, and the Kenyans can breathe easy. Remember, Uganda won the first leg by 15 points to 10 in Kampala last week. And Billy Sabwa with a 22 dropout. Can the Ugandans clear their lines here? Good clearance kick there from the Ugandans, trying to relieve some pressure. 5 minutes gone. Can the Kenyans build a steam of themselves? But once again, some sloppy play there from the Kenyans there. Billy Sabwa just couldn't grab on hold to the ball, and a good tackle. And well, I mean, that was an off-the-ball incident, by the way. That was an off-the-ball incident. And Kenya get a free kick.
We need some time.
5.5 minutes gone here at the RFUEA Grounds. Still 0-0 between Kenya and Uganda. Kenya and Uganda under 19. Remember, both sides just trying to settle into this game and to have a feel of the pitch and to have a feel of each other. So it's a lot of sizing up going on between these two sides, and Kenya now with the territorial advantage and trying to gain some possession. It's a line out. It's going to be a Kenya ball. Simon Munyafu there and Haman Humo are trying to call out the line out as Joseph Amalemba feeds the ball into the line out. In comes Felix Ojo. Kenya on the attack again now, trying to gain some phases of play here. Some good scrummaging, some good mauling there from the Kenyans. Mukolo feeds his Billy Sabwa. Kenya on the attack once again. Mukolo lining up his backs. And the forwards are running rampant in the mall, and the referee has seen some infringement there.
The first time you're using the F word, okay? If it happens
and the referee is reading the riot act to
move back. Penalty not
the Ugandan forwards.
On the ground. Step back.
And it's going to be a full penalty for the Kenyans. Not releasing the ball. Not releasing the tackler, sorry. Not
William,
releasing the tackler.
I can see you went for some match officiating lessons. Good on you.
Not releasing the tackler. Yes, and it's going to be a penalty for Kenya.
And I can see Marlin Mukolwe gearing to attempt a goal from this.
Sorry.
It's either him or Billy Isabwa. They're actually teammates at the KCB Rugby Club in Nairobi, and they're pairing up at halfback today for the Kenya Under-19s. Both of them can kick for goal, but it looks as though it's going to be Marlin Mukolwe to attempt to stab these 3 points over the sticks and open the scorings in today's game.
It's a good penalty kick there from Malvin Mukolwe, and Kenya lead by 3 points to 0. Malvin Mukolwe with the penalty there, after the Ugandans were penalized for not releasing the tackler. And Kenya with a 3-0 lead. Still early days in this game. If you're just joining us here at the RFUEA ground, Kenya under 19-3, Uganda under 19-0. And we just played 8 minutes. 8 minutes into this game here at the RFUEA ground on Ngong Road in Nairobi. Robert Masendi with the kickoff. And Kenya, there is no communication there. And once again, Kenya not communicating at the kickoffs. Mukolwe feeds Isabwa, and Isabwa gives it a well punt, but didn't get the distance he would have wanted. But Kenya will have to improve on the communication there at the kickoffs. A very poor ball handling there.
Well, William, as you said, a little bit of caginess from the Kenyans early on, but probably would like to attribute this to the opening stages of the match, hoping that this is something that they'll grow out of as the game progresses.
Edwin Kaima with a line out, a good one there, but the referee deems it not correct. It wasn't straight, and it will be a scrum feed for Kenya. Uganda there, Edwin Kaima not feeding that line out straight, and our first scrum of the game. Malvin Mukolo will be feeding this ball into the scrum for Kenya.
Bind, please.
9.5 minutes going here at the RFUEA ground. It's Kenya 3, Uganda 0. The under-19 match for the Elgon Cup.
Balls out, play. Advantage.
And a very messy scrum there. And the referee, the Kenyan front row there, getting a hammering from the Ugandans there. So it will be a scrum feed for the Ugandans.
Okay?
Kenyans, the Kenyan scrum didn't hold up very well there in their own feed.
Well, William, you feel as the game progresses, both sides seem to be getting out of their shell. Remember, there's everything to play for here in Nairobi. The winner going away with the Elgon Under-19 trophy.
Good take there from the Ugandans there, and they're on the attack.
That was Jonathan Baiga, the winger, taking the ball into contact there.
And the Ugandans on the attack here once again with some pick and drives and from a mole, but well, the referee has deemed it not well there. I think he has been held up, and it will be a Kenya ball.
I won't take it. Players talking to me, okay? Talk to your players, okay?
It will be a Kenya ball there. The Ugandans look dangerous with that scrum there. They peeled off the number. It peeled off. Fed the ball to the winger, Johnson Baiga, but well snapped out by the Kenyan defense. And it's going to be a Kenya ball. Malvin Mukolwe, the Kenyan scrum will have to do a little bit better as the game goes along, because I thought that first scrum was a little bit messy for them, but I guess they will improve.
Well, William, you feel the Ugandans are just growing into the game. They've camped in the Kenyan 25 for the last 5 minutes. As the ball is played out, this is Billy Sabwa trying to dance his way out of trouble and got caught in a spot of bother. His lucky referee, Victor Odor, had spotted an infringement and disadvantaged Kenya. Otherwise, they were living dangerously there.
Yes, absolutely. I thought he would have just have punted the ball out into the open spaces, but he tried a shimmy and a dance there, and it didn't look very good for me there. But the referee has bailed him out, so Kenya will clear the lines. Not a very good clearance kick, and in comes.
It's fielded by Adrian Casito. We saw him play at the Bamburi Rugby Super Series. And that was Joseph Oya to the line break
from the Ugandans,
making ground for the Ugandans, but they turn over possession.
Good play there from Kenya. In comes Billy Sabwa. Billy Sabwa on the attack. Can Kenya get this? Make it count! Oh! And Kenya have missed a try scoring opportunity there, but some very good face play there. And Paul Murunga doesn't look very happy. Kenya had started very, very well. That was a very good, promising play there. Billy Sabwa tried to feed the ball there to Edgar Kafumi, and just as he just needed to ground the ball.
Well, it's one of those things that happen, and you just hope that as the game proceeds, they'll actually get it right.
Edgar Kafumi just needed to ground the ball. He didn't have to pass the ball. Maybe he didn't know where he was. But Kenya have missed an opportunity there to score the first try of this game.
Yeah, first flashes of brilliance from the Kenyans.
It was from their own half.
Exactly, William. Like I was saying earlier, first flashes of brilliance really from the Kenyans. The inclusion of Billy Sabwa. Remember, he didn't play last week in Kampala. He's proving so far to be the cutting edge for the Kenyans with his creativity. As again, they go into contact.
Good play there.
That was Alex Olaba. It's still Alex Olaba in possession. He's managed to gain some good territory for Kenya. They managed to keep it alive, but the Ugandans are returning in numbers as they seek to slow down the Kenyan impetus.
Warren and Jom there with a good line break, swatting defenders off the way, and this is going to be a try.
Michael Wanjala, the try scorer.
Michael Wanjala, the try scorer. Michael Wanjala with Kenya's opening try, but once again, all the hard work was done by Warren and Jom with a 20-meter burst there, holding off the tacklers.
May I have some water, please?
And once again, Kenya looking very dangerous with ball in hand. And Kenya now with a 5-pointer and an 8-0 lead with a conversion to come.
Well, signaling the intent early on, playing probably to what Paul Murunga had spoken about during the week, about taking the game by the scruff of its neck as early as possible. They're already 8 points up. Mukolwe converts, they're now 10-0 up. Remember, they're leading on aggregate. It's now 20-15 on aggregate. They needed to win this game by 6 points to be crowned the inaugural Under-19 champions, and they have thus far set out in that direction. But we'd like to see a Ugandan response.
Yes, absolutely. Ugandans just who seem to be on the back foot now. Kenya with showing all the attacking intent with a brilliant try. 2 very good line breaks. Of course, Edgar Kafumi didn't score that try, but once again, Kenya came back roaring again. Warren and Jom with a brilliant line break. Beat 4 or 5 Ugandan defenders. And once the ball was recycled, Michael Wanjala, the fullback, was there to ghost in between the defense and score. So, Uganda, what do they have in response? It's Robert Masendi with the kickoff. And Kenya once again showing his intent with ball in hand. Mukolwe feeds Wanjala. Wanjala with a kick. Does it find touch? Yes, it does.
As Adrian Casito just runs into the official's table. We did not see that on camera, but that was a bit dangerous. Remember, if you're joining us, we're 15 minutes into this match. Kenya leading Uganda 10-0 in this Elgon Cup under-19 fixture. This is the return match. Okay, Uganda's under-19s won last weekend's first leg fixture by 15 points to 10. Remember, the winner on aggregate will be crowned the inaugural champions.
Thanks.
Yes, and of course remember that Uganda won the first leg last week, but Kenya here with a very promising first start with a try, a conversion and a penalty. The Ugandans win the line out there. They will try and probably do a rolling mold from this line out, and it's going to be a try.
Pierce Ogena with the try.
Pierce Ogena with the try, and Uganda have responded quickly. Pierce Ogena with the try. The number 8. It was a well-constructed line-out drive. I thought the Kenyan defense were probably waiting for the line-out drive to gain steam and probably stop it in its tracks, but quick thinking by the Ugandans, and they are very much back into this game. Pius Ogena with a try, and he was just hiding behind that rolling ball.
Well, he lifted his head up and saw that there was space for him to exploit, which he did, using a burst of pace to just get him over the try line and actually put Uganda back into the game.
Uganda, yes, are very much back into this game with the conversion to come from... Kenyans, they are caught very cold. And Arinaitwe Stallone missing the conversion, so it's Kenya 10, Uganda 5. Here in the car under 19, the game has exploded into life. The game has exploded into life here with the Ugandans scoring that try and Kenya, of course, having scored earlier.
And as it stands, both teams are tied on aggregate 20-20. We need to find a winner this afternoon.
Yes.
Billy Sabwa just marshalling his troops there as he prepares for the restart. It'll be interesting to see what the Kenyan response would be. Thus far, this match looks as though it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Yes, it looks like it's going to be a high-scoring game because we've already done 18 minutes and already we've already had 15 points. The Kenyans, of course, attacking now. The Ugandans, Edwin Kahima tackled well, but the Ugandans still maintain possession. And in comes the fullback, Joseph Oyet, with a kick. And the referee penalizes the Kenyans there.
Let's have to. Yeah, please. Yeah.
Ghana now will try and find touch from this half penalty. Doesn't gain the distance it would have required.
What's it? 2 up.
So it's going to be a Uganda line out.
Red, mark here. Black.
Kenya will have to be very careful with this line out because from such line outs they considered a try there a few minutes ago. Well, Edwin Kahima to feed the line out.
Well, William was about to say it's all about getting it right in the set pieces. It's all about keeping your mental strength, keeping your awareness, and
no straight options there. What do you want?
Retake as many mistakes as you possibly can.
Referee Victor Dura didn't it not straight there, so it's going to be Kenya ball there. Scrum in favor of Kenya. 19 and a half minutes gone here at the RFUEA ground. It's a Kenya under 19 versus Uganda under 19 Elgon Cup day. And both teams, remember, are tied on aggregate as we speak. But still a lot of rugby to be played. We still have another half of the first half to go.
Hold it, both sides.
McColway. Can he feed the ball into the scrum and get clean ball? Can he get clean ball?
Stop.
Can he get clean ball? Not the best of passes, but in comes Billy Sabwa.
That was Alex Olaba playing at blind wing, just coming in to take the ball into contact.
Once again, some poor ball handling there from the Kenyans, and a very promising attack move, but that's gone. And the Ugandans now with the attack there. Adrian Casito finds his Edwin Kahima. That was a forward pass, if you ask me, but the referee has deemed it a good pass. The Ugandans on the attack once again. And Edwin Kaima is playing as a scrum half. Not picking the ball from the base of the scrum. Acting as an emergency scrum half.
I think just showing the hunger that he has. Meanwhile, referee Victor Odor calls for an infringement. And that gives the possession back to the Kenyans.
Back.
They were on the back foot prior to this happening.
Billy Sabwa with a big punt there. Can Kenya build on this? Can Kenya build on that? 21 minutes gone here at the RFUEA ground. It's Kenya versus Uganda in the under-19 Elgon Cup. Kenya leading by 10 points to 5. A try and a conversion and a penalty. Uganda having just scored their try a few minutes ago. So they're still very much in this game. And once again, very poor line out there from Kenya. And the Ugandans have snapped it out and they will try and clear their lines. Once again, Edwin Kaime. Very good kick there. Michael Wanjala feeds it very well.
Stop, play!
Kicks it. And the Ugandans now.
Stop, block!
Becoming a kicking game.
That was his opposite number, Joseph Oyet, just returning the ball and kicking it into touch.
Very scrappy play there from both sides. Kenya losing out their line out. And it's one area I think which Paul Murunga will have to address maybe at halftime, because from a very promising line out in the scrum down, they have not attacked the position very well. So it's a Kenya line out ball. Not straight. Not straight, so it will be a Ugandan scrum feed. It's going to be a Ugandan scrum ball. It's going to be a Ugandan scrum ball.
Back please, okay? Maintain it like that, okay? Don't crush him.
Referee Victor Odor just ensuring that both scrums are properly set.
Bind.
Adrian Casito and Marlin Mukolwe in our picture there. Casito preparing for this scrummage.
Stop, block!
This looks like a promising move for the Ugandans.
Yes.
That's Jonathan Baiga taking the ball into contact, but that was a heavy tackle coming in from the Kenyans.
Kenyans showing aggressive in defense there. And Johnson Basiga there. Tackles hard enough there by the Kenyan defense.
Another scrum down, this time it's going to be a Kenyan put-in. If you're joining us, remember this is the Elgon Cup return leg. This is the under-19 category. Maybe just something brief about the Elgon Cup is that it is a two-legged affair between Kenya and Uganda. The overall winner determined on aggregate scores from the two matches in Nairobi and Kampala. As it stands in this game, the Uganda under-19s beat Kenya in the first leg 15-10, but they currently trail here by 5 points to 10. So both sides are tied on aggregate. It's 20-20, and the winner will be the team that has the most aggregate score at the end of the day.
Yeah, another very messy scrum there from the Kenyans. I think the Kenyans are having difficulty in winning their own ball at the scrum. They're coming under pressure from the Ugandans, and once again, no clean ball for the backs there, and Billy Sabwa not getting very clean ball there from the scrum, from his forwards and from Malvin Mukolwe.
Well, William, you just feel as though the Ugandan flankers are putting the pressure on Malin Mukolwe, thus making it difficult for him to deliver that clean ball to Billy Sabwa.
Well said there, Michael Kwambo. And the Ugandan flankers are really doing a very good job of destabilizing the Kenyan ball at the scrum. Malvin Mukolwe.
Stop, block, stop!
Once again, here comes Warren Nanjom. He's a bullocking run there, and a good line break from him.
He plays it into Alex Olaba, who gains some ground for Kenya. That is Malin Mukolwe playing it into...
Play!
Looks like Joseph Amalemba to me. Nyanjom again has seen the ball so many times in this opening half. Mukolwe, what can Kenya do with this promising attack? On the 22 now, Kenya, Malvin Mukolwe again. Billy Sabwa, Michael Wanjala. Can they get something into this game, by the way?
Playing it into Alex Olaba, who again takes it into contact as the Kenyans looking to build from here and actually put points on the board. This is the 5th phase of play for Kenya as they are actually in the Ugandan 25. Or 22, as I was reminded the other day by some rugby hands. Another big hit as the Kenyans continue to surge forward. Well, thus far, it's been a fairly balanced game, but the advantage is currently with the Kenyans.
Amalemba gaining some few meters from there. Here comes Sidney Muniafu, or Simon Muniafu rather. Simon Muniafu, and Kenya, despite all the hard work they've done in those 5-6 phases, penalized by Victor Odwor.
Well,
I don't know what call he's going to give that for.
Hard done after gaining close to 40 meters. The barely meters from the line, and then an infringement happened. And it turns over possession to Uganda. They will definitely go for touch and relieve the pressure off of themselves.
Yes, Arene Twist alone with a kick. Does it find territory? No, it doesn't. So Kenya can spring this into attack again.
That's Jeffrey Olwoch. Billy Sabo with a fancy pass to his teammate Marlin Mukolwe.
Michael Wanjala.
This is Oscar Simiu. Oscar Simiu has been with the Kenya Under-19s. This is his 2nd year. He was part of the squad that got to the final of the CAR Championships last year in South Africa when they lost to Namibia. It was a thrashing in the final, but it was an achievement for the Kenyans. And it's good to see that Paul Murunga has kept faith in some of those boys as he looks to build a strong squad to actually compete for this year's championships in Namibia.
Once again, the Kenyan momentum stalled. They lose a very promising move there. Once again, they're penalized by Victor Odwor, and it's something which I think Paul Murunga will have to really sort out. They're really being penalized in very promising attacking positions. And it's one area which I think the head coach will have to address. 28 minutes gone here at the RFUEA Grounds. It's Kenya Under-19 10, Uganda Under-19 5. The match is tied on aggregate between these two sides in the Elgon Cup. Remember, Uganda won the first leg by 15 points to 10 last week in Kampala.
And remember, you can join the conversation regarding this game and the other games in the Elgon Cup by using the hashtag Elgon Cup, which appears on our screens down there.
Advantage, fast offense.
We get back into play.
Advantage over.
All the way there to Herman Humwa. Humwa is all alone as he goes in, playing it into. That's Jeffrey Olwoch. Jeffrey Olwoch seems to be going all alone, but that was some beautiful support play. Beautiful support play from Edgar Hafumi.
Has penalized the move again.
Just as the Kenyans were getting into the stride, they're called for an infringement. We have 6 minutes to the close of the first half.
A very good break there from
and we missed the replay just like that.
And Kenya with a couple of line breaks there, but once again, the referee has deemed that final pass to have either been a forward pass or an obstruction of some sorts. And Kenya will not be happy with the way things are going. They've had the better edge in terms of possession and the try-scoring opportunities. And it's going to be a Uganda ball.
Wait. Clear time, please. Just move.
6 minutes to the end of the first half remaining here. Kenya 10, Uganda 5. It's the Elgon Cup second leg. And Uganda with a good line-out take there. What can they do now? Can they strike before half-time?
Fine, play! Please, run!
Uganda now pressing their claims to get a try there. Midway through the pitch.
Not releasing red, okay?
Kenya once again penalized, not releasing the tackler.
Well, William, you just feel that the Kenyans have been penalized time and again. They need to keep their discipline if they are to surge forward in this game. I think,
Yes,
as the game proceeds, the discipline begins to show.
Yeah, well said, Michael Kwambo. I think the discipline of the Kenyans is letting them down in very critical areas of the pitch with ball in hand in attack. And they retrieve the ball there.
Stop! Fine.
It's a massive kick there. And Edrin Kaimbe, the hooker, who's playing like a back row. All over the place, winning the ball in contact. Fielding those kicks very well.
Step back.
And Uganda on the attack again.
Edrin Kaima reminds me of a Ugandan great, Alex Mubiru, who also played at hooker, who was equally as nippy on his feet. That's Edgar Khavumi fielding the ball, and that was an ambitious kick from him as he moves forward. What can he do? And lucky bounce. The ball will stay alive. It was a 50-50 ball there. Michael Wanjala playing it back to Billy Isabwa.
Stop!
Lifting it deep and high. But where the chasing pack for the Kenyans as the Ugandans seem to get out of danger there?
Leave the ball.
Yeah, it's a very interesting game. Both sides are just kicking into each other. And as you're saying, Michael Kwambo, no one is chasing the ball from the Kenyan side. I thought they should have actually put pressure on the Ugandans, chase that kick, and have like 3 or 4 runners chasing that ball to put pressure on them. But it's something which maybe the Kenyans could adopt in the second half. 3 minutes to the end of the first half.
I think really
it's Kenya 10, Uganda 5.
Well, William, I was going to say, I think it's all a matter of concentration because you need to be aware. For example, when Billy Isabwa kicked that ball, you'd naturally expect he would chase and there'd be others also chasing. We used to call it keeping the ball alive. I don't know what they call it these days. Rugby has changed.
Oh yeah, true. Marvin Mukole with a good pass there, finding his backs.
That's Jeffrey Olwatch. Taking the ball into contact. But it looks as though the Ugandans have turned over possession, but will get a clearer shot. No, the Kenyans are still in possession and they're driving forward. We have 3 minutes to halftime, and that is Warren Nanjom. He's been a bother for the Ugandans.
Yes, he's been rampaging through everywhere in the pitch.
And it would be nice to see players like Warren Nanjom follow in the footsteps of other players like Joshua Chisanga and gain a stranglehold into the senior Kenyan team. Meanwhile, Ugandans. That was Johnson Baiga taking the ball into contact. But again, Victor Odor calling for an infringement. And William, the penalty rate in this first half alone has been quite high.
Yes, the penalty count. The penalty count has been quite high, yes. I agree with you, Michael Kwambo. The discipline on both sides is really wanting, particularly from the Kenyan side. The Kenyans have not been at their best in terms of discipline.
Edgar Khavumi, whoa! That looked dangerous there. That was a promising kick up front. Goodness, the ball has been kept alive.
I've not gone dead.
The Kenyans were caught ball watching there. Geoffrey Olwatch, first of all, raised the ball. Edgar Khavumi was on the chase, unable to field that ball, and then Uganda transferring the pressure, finding the Kenyan defenders at 6s and 7s.
Ball watching. I've been ball watching. And once again, knock on there from the Kenyan side in attack. And we approach to the end of the first half. Here at the RFUEA ground, it's Kenya 10, Uganda 5. Second leg of the Elgon Cup. Remember, as it stands, both sides are tied on 20 points apiece. So lots of action to come in the second half. But we are winding down the first half, and it's going to be a Uganda scrum. Very, very scrappy first half. Your thoughts, Michael Kwambo?
Well, scrappy, KG, that is how I would define the first half. The teams have not been decisive, but remember, the analysts will talk more about that at halftime.
Well, it's going to be a Uganda scrum here. Adrian Kasito has been very prominent in the few Ugandan attacks.
Let's have to again. The same team put it in.
Still going to be a Uganda scrum.
Came straight through the tunnel. Let's have to again. The same team put it in.
The last piece of action in this first half.
As William says, yes, this is probably the last piece of action before we head down to the studio to join Larry Asego and his analysts.
Okay, that's fine.
And it would be interesting to see what would be made of this.
Absolutely.
Touch. Bind. Set.
Well,
20 points to 20.
Still playing advantage.
Well, if you're joining us, the scores are tied on aggregate 20-20. Kenya leading Uganda 10-5 in Nairobi. The Ugandans had earlier beaten the Kenyans last week in Kampala by 15 points to 10. The scores are 20-20. Remember, the winner of this game will be determined by the overall score on aggregate.
Okay.
Absolutely, yes, Michael Kwambo. On aggregate, it's Kenya 20, Uganda 20 on aggregate as we speak. And Ugandans, the ref hasn't still blown the whistle during the first half.
Fred
And
Ochan
it's Ugandans on the attack.
That was Fred Ochan looking a bit pedestrian as he took the ball into contact. He took it with no pace at all and he was dealt with decisively. But the most important thing is that the Ugandans kept possession.
And searching for that Marvin Mukolwe looked undecisive for me.
Gone back.
Michael Wanjala. Oh, good
This
piece
is
of
Alex
play there.
Alaba.
Draw, block. Stay back. Stay back. Continue moving. Advantage.
Oloch. Muniafu.
Still playing advantage.
Mukolwe again.
Advantage over.
That was Tunechi.
Tunechi.
Khafumi.
And once again, the ball spilled in contact there from the Kenyan team on the attack, and it's going to be half time.
Yes, that was the last order of business. We're now heading into halftime. Not yet. The referee has still called for... He is consulting.
Just please step back. Step back.
Number 11, Uganda. These are words towards the match officials. Yeah? Will you please on him? Yeah.
Referee Victor Duo consulting with his...
Number 11, black. Okay, black captain. And number 11. Okay, this is the second time this is the second time I'm talking about you maintaining your players, okay? Yeah. Tell them to keep their tempos down, okay? I've had a report, abusive language to the referee. I won't take it, so I'll come for a penalty here. Then you stay back 10, okay? Talk to your guys, okay?
Bye-bye, come in.
Maybe. So let's just be standby.
Make it quick.
All right. It's we came to the end of the first half here. The Elgon Cup under 19
time's up.
category.
Move back 10 meters,
Uganda
penalty here.
5. Still a very tight game.
Okay, it's okay.
Very scrappy
Yeah,
first half from what I've seen
Just
so
step back,
far.
please. Step 10
Kenya
meters.
trying to play
10 on
with
him.
structure, but
10 on him.
handling errors and indiscipline costing them.
William, maybe just to say something quickly, we had been informed that this game would be played using the IRB rules for matches in the under-19, which means that games are played 35 minutes per half. But it seems as though match referee Victor Duor is playing the full 40 minutes as is given for senior internationals.
Oh, good break there from Simon Muniafu. Tyson Okoth chasing that ball, but cleared out by the Ugandans. Good break there from Simon Muniafu.
Red, please.
And Kenya on the attack once again as we come to the end of the first half. As my co-commentator Michael Kwamba said, there seems to be an issue with the timing of this first half because as of yesterday they were supposed to be playing under the IRB rules. Good take there from the Kenyans. Now will they do a rolling maul from here? Can they do a rolling maul?
Probably not, because the referee has ruled against them.
Relax. Calm down. Wait. Come. Okay?
And Hooker Joseph Amalemba. Is there a Malemba there?
Yes, it is.
Going to be penalized.
Wait, okay?
Being given a talking to by the referee.
Let's have here.
As Victor Duor just asserting himself, telling the people who's boss in this game.
Are you the captain?
And the ball, and the Ugandans kick out for touch. And it will be a Ugandan line out. We are at the 40-minute mark of the first half.
Edwin Kaima
Step back, please.
to take this line out through for the Ugandans. Just into the Kenyan half. Referee Victor Odor calling it not straight. You could see that from a mile away.
Have to really sort out their line out issues. Michael Kwambo, we've seen so many crooked throws from the line out. Not only Kenya, but also Uganda.
Well,
so it's going to be a Kenya scrum.
Well, William, I'd probably attribute this to being on the big stage. Remember, this is the second major game for these two sets of teams this year as they prepare for the CAR Under-19 championships. Because usually what has happened in the past, they just go to the championships without having played any build-up games of this caliber. And it's good because this is a full international at this level, and you're actually able to see what will work and not work for you and tweak them ahead of the tournament, which will be played in August. As Marlin Mukolwe puts in the ball for the Kenyans. Not a good delivery, but still received there. And again, taken into contact.
Now, if he's held up for too long, then of course it will be Uganda more. But Kenya able to bring him down and win the ball there. But still very scrappy there. And Amalemba trying to gain some meters there.
Which he does. And Mukolwe again delivering some clean ball to Billy Isabwa. And playing it into Geoffrey Olwatch.
Kenya with very good. I thought he should have passed the ball there. There was an overlap, I think, of 2 meters.
But still
attacking play there.
Still gaining good impetus there, Kenya, as they keep the attacks alive. Half-time fast approaching. Half-time, I beg your pardon. I said half-time.
Amalemba is prominent in this small quarters. What can Kenya do here? They are smelling the try line. Kenya on the attack again. Kenya on the attack. Kenya on the attack. They can smell the try line. They can smell the try line from 5 meters out.
Use it.
Mukolwe.
That's Edgar Kafumi.
Good try.
Edgar Kafumi with the try.
And Kenya with the try, the second try. Kenya scoring their second try of the afternoon here.
The try scored by Edgar Kafumi.
Edgar Kafumi,
a visionary pass.
Who missed a try early in this game. And finally atoning for that mistake by scoring second try. So Kenya extending their lead to 15-5. And we still haven't come to the end of the first half. Michael Kwambo.
Well, I think it's just reward for the attacking impetus they've shown, especially in the last 5 minutes.
Yes.
Recovering, remember we were talking earlier about the penalties and everything, but how they recovered from that. They built up, they played about 5-6 paces before Marlin Mukolwe and Billy Isabwa distributed the ball. Isabwa just spotting Edgar Kafumi, who dashed all the way to the try line.
Yeah, but it all started with the hooker, Joseph Amalemba.
And Mukolwe with a conversion from way out.
Amalemba, of course, playing a very key role. It's half-time. It's half-time here at the RFUEA Grounds. Kenya 15, Uganda 5. And it's Kenya who are leading now on aggregate by 25 points.
It's actually 27 because the conversion went in.
So it's 27 points to 20 here at the RFUEA Grounds. Kenya 17, Uganda 5. Half-time here at the RFUEA Grounds. We will see you at the start of the second half.
Witness the top athletes from all across the globe as they compete for glory in the biggest IAAF events, including the World Championships, Diamond League, and many more. Live on Zuku Sports.
Next on Scrum Down, the fight for East Africa's bragging rights is on. Kenya take on Uganda in the Elgon Cup. We talk to former Kenya winger Alan Makaka.
Just pick one or two, go and just have fun with your friends.
And in the Legends Corner sits Harmon Sando.
Administrators have a bigger role to play now in Kenya rugby especially.
Catch all this rugby action on Scrum Down every Friday at 7:30 p.m. on Zuku Sports.
ATP Uncovered. Get unrivaled behind-the-scenes access to the most exciting tennis players on earth in full HD. Find out what happens off the court with player profiles and tournament stories. Follow the ATP Tour and Grand Slam finals with in-depth features and tactical analysis. Become a tennis insider with ATP Uncovered. New episodes each Wednesday on Zuku Sports.
FIFA Football Mundial, the weekly show that travels the globe to bring you the stars of today, the talents of tomorrow, and the heroes of the past. Plus news and in-depth reports from all the major competitions. FIFA Football Mundial, the football show that knows no boundaries. New episodes in full HD, Wednesdays on Zuku Sports.
We are here live at the RFUEA Grounds for the big one. Yes, it is a big game that is going down. It is the Elgon Cup, a fantastic day of rugby action. We've got 3 big games, and that is the Under-19, we've got the ladies team, and of course we've got the Kenya A versus Uganda A, and this is a fantastic day for rugby. We are joined by Mike Ndiema from Uganda. Earlier on we had Mike Tankotieno, of course. I mean, the scores don't reflect too well for the Ugandan side. Mike.
We've always been known to come back well in the second half.
Okay.
So we're not really scared. It's half time. It just means we're going to look back at the board and see what do we need to reorganize.
Yes.
If you watch the game in Kampala, Kenya is the one who started on the scoreboard.
Yes.
And for a better part of the first half, they were actually leading. We just came to close the game the last minutes of the second half. So just because we didn't close it this second half, this first half does not mean it's all over.
So it's not over?
Not yet, not yet, not yet.
It's not over until the fat prop sings.
Until the...
Well, the scores currently stand at 17-5. The Kenyan side, Under-19, is leading. And Tank, you must be very happy about the scoreboard as it stands.
Yeah, actually, the Under-19 should actually have sealed it by now. Yeah, because they're making a few basic mistakes here and there. But the structures look good, and if they maintain that tempo, I think they're going to take it.
Of course, I mean, Mike is telling us that, look, I mean, it's not over until the fat prop sings, that the Ugandan side, they're known from coming from behind to take it. What do you think are the tactical changes you need to make for the second half to look better?
Well, we've noticed one thing. When we play the game with the forwards, we are having a few issues. The backs are actually managing to break the lines. And there are kind of some blind spots in the Kenyan backline. So that's where we're going to go for.
But you see, the other thing can be argued that the Kenyans might just decide to take the ball in the forward play and keep it there.
Well, what we're doing there is we're going for double tackles.
Okay.
So it would be a bad move for any of the forwards to actually come that direction.
Double tackles.
Double tackles.
Hey,
bad news.
Tank. You've been a forward. I mean, you've played in the back line. Yeah. You've coached forwards before. Strategy-wise...
No, you see, if Kenya can just maintain the structure, like the way they scored the try just before halftime, right? And if they just look after the ball well, and they're patient, yeah, because they're doing it well, but they're not consistent. If they can maintain the consistency, look after the ball well, and maintain the structure that they're playing, I do not think Uganda stand a chance.
Yeah, because, you know, you're saying that there's a few gaps in the back line, but both tries have, I mean, the tries from the Kenyan side have come from backs. Number 15, Michael, and of course, number 14, Edgar. The ones who have scored the tries for the Kenyan side under 19. Then where would the gaps be if actually both tries for the Kenyan side have come from the backs?
I'm not going to call the referee at this point, but...
Always blame the ref, huh?
I'm not going to toss that coin in there. However, we definitely have felt like there was a little bit of a leaning towards one direction and giving out leeways. So we are hoping that's not going to be there in the second half.
Look, nobody will ever side the referee. Nobody will ever be on the side of the referee. The referee only refs the way he knows. Huh? But just now, just to come back on matters Ugandan rugby.
Yes, please.
This is the first time that we're actually holding
the
an under-19
in the Elgon Cup. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, as a move, what do you think? What do you think? What
can you say about it? It's a step forward, a very positive step forward, because you see, we've got to start building the game from somewhere.
Yes.
Right? If you look at, in Uganda, the boys who actually started playing the game from tag rugby and have grown through the structures, those are the boys that we're actually having in the under-19 and in the senior team. And they're actually proving to be very, very good players. The earlier the exposure to such big crowds and big stages, the much better for for our players at the end of the day. And you cannot grow unless you play a great competitor, which simply means that Kenya needs Uganda, Uganda needs Kenya. We need to grow together, and we need this rivalry to continue over the ages. So let it start here. Let them grow knowing that, yes, when we're standing for Elgon Cup, it's a big issue. So this one is thumbs up for whoever decided to actually come with the under-19s.
Yeah, because just remind you once again, fantastic day of rugby action. We've got the under-19s that are playing Kenya versus Uganda. We've got the ladies team that is going to be coming immediately after this game. And thereafter, we're going to have the senior team taking on to the pitch. Now, given the fact that in Kampala, the Uganda under-19 side managed to beat Kenya, I mean, the Kenyan side looks a bit more focused than they did. And some of the errors that they made, I mean, actually maybe tactical changes. Tank, maybe you might come in here. In terms of the Ugandan game, I mean, the Chipu, when they were playing Ugandan side under 19, were there issues of tactical, I mean, changes that did not work well, again, for the Kenyan team?
No, I think the Kenyan team has just gotten a bit more organized. Like I'm talking about structure.
Yes.
And really, structure is what brings out the game. Because in that structure, you can see a game plan, right? If they can just maintain and work on their basics, because a couple of times they've knocked on the ball, a couple of times they've gotten impatient and isolated themselves, right, at the breakdown.
Yes.
Yeah, if they can just look after the ball a bit better and be more consistent in maintaining that structure, I think it looks like the coaches have done their job this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
The try for the Ugandan side came from their number 8. I mean,
Ogana.
Ogana, a big lad.
Yeah.
I mean, is he like an upcoming player willing to take the mantle from the number 8 in the senior team?
Oh yes, oh yes. We are looking at this team actually growing up to be the main team in the next 3 years. We're going to just more or less groom a particular set of players and have them develop into actually the senior team. We're not going to lock out anybody, but at the moment we have focused mainly on a particular number of players.
Okay.
So yes, we hope to see Pius in the main team in another 2 years.
So who are the danger men in the under-19 side that are obviously going to take the mantle from the senior side?
Oh,
any names to mention?
We already have. There's no name I can actually put aside and say this one is not going to get there.
Yeah.
Right from the number 1, Colin Chimboa, going to the number 2, Edwin Kaima. I can name the entire squad. Yeah, we have boys who are actually going to step up to the plate and take up the mantle.
Tank, just back to you. In terms of the prospects for the 15 side, the Kenyan side, I mean, from what you've seen so far from the under-19, who do you think is an obvious selection for the 15 squad senior team?
Yeah, I'm seeing Simon Muniafu, son of my good old friend.
Yes,
Muniafu,
the Muniafus.
Yeah, Muniafu is very prominent there. I'm seeing a good backline, especially we have the centers and the wingers there are also looking very, very prominent. I'm seeing a big prop that looks very solid. So really, for me, this is the team that we are going to focus on for 2019.
Fantastic rugby action here at the RFUEA Grounds. This is a big rugby day. It's Kenya versus Uganda all the way. The under-19s, we are moving on to the second half. He said that the Ugandans come from behind and they might just clinch this one. Only time will tell. We're going into the second half.
Well, we can see the action from the first half there. That's Michael Wanjala, one of the try scorers for Kenya in the first half. Remember, Kenya leading Uganda 17-5 in this Elgon Cup under-19 fixture. Meanwhile, the crowd's beginning to build up here at the RFUEA Grounds. And as we just see the try from Michael Wanjala. That was the opening try for the Kenyan side.
Yes, was the opening try.
And there was the response from Piers Ogena. But at this point, the scores were 10-5 to the Kenyan under-19s against the Ugandan counterparts.
This was the earlier move, which almost resulted in a Ugandan try before our very own
Captain, time is 35.
Jimmy Mwangi killed that ball in the 22, and this was the second try scored by Edgar Kafumi. Edgar Kafumi with a try there from Kenya. So Kenya leading 17-5 here.
Meanwhile, not in our picture, there's a bunch of very noisy Ugandan fans who've come here, probably to turn the game around for the Ugandans in the second half. And there we have them in our picture, the traveling fans from Uganda. As the teams step back onto the pitch for the second half. If you're just joining us, this is an Elgon Cup under-19 clash, live from the RFUEA Grounds, brought to you on Zuku Sports. Kenya leading Uganda 17-5 and 27-20 on aggregate as Billy Isabwa prepares to get the second half underway. And Isabwa gets us underway for the second half. His kick not fielded by the Ugandans. It's all helter-skelter as the second half begins here at the RFUEA Grounds. The aggression from the Kenyans showing early on. Marlin Mukolwe is looking for that ball. He plays it out there to Oscar Simiu. Oscar Simiu is a big man and he takes out one man there.
Carries the ball forward very well. Marvin Mukolwe, Kenya starting like a house on fire in the second half. And that's a brilliant place and it's going to be a try. Billy Isabwa with the third try for Kenya, barely a minute into the second half, and the Ugandan defense got fast asleep here. Fast asleep. Billy Isabwa had all the time in the world to gallop all the way and score a try, and Uganda in 6s and 7s here in defense. Not even an attempted tackle on Billy Isabwa, and Kenya widen the lead to 20-27.
Well, in all honesty, Billy Isabwa spotted the gap. I remember my coach during my playing days at Kampala, Bill Givinji, he always used to say that there is a space wherever the ball has come from. So he actually just broke those running lines and scored. I mean, he had acres of space. Billy Isabwa, remember, he's one of the players who have been chosen by Coach Paul True to play for the Kenya Sevens Academy. Definitely a prospect for the future. Marlin Mukolwe bracing himself for the conversion. As the conversion is good from Mukolwe, it's now Kenya 24, Uganda 5.
All right, now, what do the Ugandans have in store? What do the Ugandans have in store? Because as it is now, they are trailing on aggregates by 32 points, actually 34 points to 20. So it's a 14-point margin for the Kenyan team here early in the second half. Can the Ugandans fight back? We shall wait and see. And the kickoff here, good take there by Simon Muniafu. Good take there by Simon Muniafu. Good kick there by none other than Marvin Mukolwe. And the referee points. It's going to be a penalty there. There was a knock-on, I think, or not an attempted challenge or a tackle. Kenya 24, Uganda 5. And as my co-commentator Michael Kwambu was telling me at halftime, I think the fatigue factor could have crept into the Ugandans. or we might see it creeping in at some point in the second half. They barely arrived yesterday. A 12, 13-hour bus ride from Kampala, arriving in Nairobi at 6 p.m. in the evening, and that could play a factor, could be a decisive factor for them in this game.
Well, it could play a factor, but remember, we still have the whole of the second half to play, and anything is possible. We could probably see a comeback from the Ugandans. Remember, there's that saying, it's not over till it's over. So let's see what the remainder of this match has in store.
With a good,
but in all honesty, William, the Kenyans are rampant. I don't know what Paul Murunga told them at halftime.
Yes.
You can just see Jeff
And the
Watch
Ugandans and the
marshalling
Kenyans
his troops.
with the rolling ball here. As my co-commentator said, Michael Kwambo, you don't know what Paul Murunga told them. Billy Sabwa. Sabwa again trying to spot a gap there, but well tackled by the Ugandan defense. But Kenya smelling blood here. Malvin Mukolwe feeds it again. Good piece of play there from the Kenyans. They are smelling blood there, hammering at the Ugandans. And Mukolwe again. Can this be another try for the Kenyan team? Can he ground it there? Can he ground it?
No, he dropped the ball. That was
dropped the ball. So it's going to be a scrum feed here, and Kenya almost scoring their fourth try of this game.
Well, William, you feel as though the Ugandans didn't leave the dressing room at halftime because it's been one-way traffic all through. Probably
Good
the
piece of
fitness
play there by Michael Wanjala.
Probably the fitness factor working for the Kenyans.
Yeah, Michael Wanjala there holding up the ball well, but just couldn't ground it. And I just feel that the Ugandans have to score the next try, because if Kenyans score this next try, then I think it could be curtains over for them, Michael Kwambo. The Ugandans are being cheered on by their fans here, but I think they have probably gone a bit quiet a bit. It's the Kenyan fans who are cheering. 5 minutes played into the second half. It's Kenya 24, Uganda 5, the second leg of the Elgon Cup.
And the first substitution for the Ugandans, Mike Otto, open side flanker going off. We'll soon find out who has come in to replace him.
Step on the line. Okay, cheers, thanks. Okay, let's have tea, please.
If you're just joining us, this is the Elgon Cup day. Kenya under 19 versus Uganda under 19. Kenya 24, Uganda 5. It's the under 19 category here. Amalemba, who's been very prominent in the close quarter battles, will feed this ball to the line out. Who does it get there? Finds Herman Humo. And Kenya on the attack again with a rolling maul. The rolling maul is doing his job, and a good piece of play there by Warren Njom.
He plays for Impala RFC in Nairobi, Kenya. One for the future, definitely, William.
And they're rolling once again, by the way. Can Kenya get this ball into the try box and just drop it down? The Ugandans are holding them up very well, and the referee has said no.
And just a confirmation of the substitution made by the Ugandans. They have replaced Mike Otto with David Agassi.
No relation. They're taking some notes there.
And I was just about to say David Agassi, no relation with the great tennis player from the 90s, Andre Agassi.
Paul Murunga, they're taking some notes. He must be impressed by what he has seen so far in the second half, but I just want to think that he may probably put the foot on the throat and go for more points in this second half. Remember, it's going to be a Uganda scrum feed here. Kenya are virtually camped in the 22 of the Ugandans. They are virtually on their try box for the last 7-8 minutes since the start of the second half. The referee not happy with that scrum. Kenya 24, Uganda 5. It's the under 19 category. On aggregate, Kenya leading by 34 points to 20. Meaning Uganda have to score 15 points just to tie the game.
As William has said, Uganda have a mountain to climb. They need to score 15 points and make sure that Kenya don't score any points if they are to run away with the inaugural Elgon Cup under 19 title.
Absolutely.
But as it stands, things are not going their way. They have been pinned deep in their half by an aggressive Kenya side, and probably this could be their first respite there. That was Piers Ogena just taking a break there for the under-19s, the Uganda under-19s, and the ball booted into touch. Finally, some respite for the baby cranes.
Kenya, wanted a quick line-out, but the referee said no. Line-out has to be formed from there.
It's been a furious. I was going to say it's been a furious 9 minutes. 9 minutes of the second half. The Kenyans just coming on with fire, pumping in the points, running away with the game at this point.
Yes, absolutely. Kenya looking very rampant. Good line-out take there. Malvin Mukolwe feeds Billy Isabwa. Isabwa with a good take there and shrugging off, handing off the Ugandans comfortably there. Kenyan fans are loving every bit of the action so far. Ugandans are really counter-racking here. Once again, the Ugandans penalized. It's going to be, no, the Kenyans are penalized there for knock-on, and it's going to be a Uganda ball. Some of the fans here at the stadium are very small crowd, but definitely building up as we go along into the two bigger games of the day between the Kenya Lionesses and the Lady Cranes, and Kenya A side facing Uganda later in the day. 10 minutes gone into the second half here at the RFUEA ground. It's Kenya 24, Uganda 5 in the Elgon Cup under-19 category. Remember, Uganda won the first leg 15-10, but so far are trailing here by 24 points to 5. Kenyans looking very dangerous with ball in hand. Billy Sabwa, Malvin Mukolwe, Warren Nyanjom, Joseph Amalemba looking very dangerous with ball in hand. And of course the fullback, Michael Wanjala, have had a very starring role so far in this first half. Adrian Casito to fit this ball into the scrum. And from my rugby knowledge, or from my rugby training days, they should be low. They're too high, Michael.
Sorry, it's not. They're too high, and the referee, Victor Odor, awarding a half penalty. He awards the half penalty to the Kenyans following an infringement by the baby cranes. And this sets up another platform.
Good break there.
Advantage. As a rampant Chipu side looking to pile on the points. Marlin Mukolwe ambitious there, trying a drop goal that had no distance, but Simon Muniafu was on hand. But it seems as though the referee has called for something else, and Muniafu's efforts will count for nothing. There is a man down, and that's the reason why play has been stopped.
Okay, Michael Kwamba, I still can't understand what Malvin Mukolwe was he going for a drop kick or what?
Well, you feel, William, at this point of the game, you're 24-5 up. You probably want to try those things that the coach doesn't approve of when the game is a bit tighter. And that would be one of the things, a bit of ambition getting into him. As you see part of the crowd here at the RFUEA Grounds.
I agree with Michael Kwamba. You can try those stunts when the game is, when you've got a 15-point margin, not when the game is a bit tight. Because my thinking was that probably they should have just held on to the ball a couple of more phases and probably they would have scored a try. But hey, we're just commentators, we're not the players or the coaching staff. Kenya leading 24 points to 5, Elgon Cup, under-19 category here.
The sights and sounds of
the RFUEA ground.
Thank you very much, cameraman down there and director.
Looking very despondent, looking very worried, some already biting their nails. The Kenyan fans very happy with the proceedings so far. Remember, much later in the day, at 2 o'clock, Kenya Lionesses facing the Lady Cranes, and then at 4 p.m., it's Kenya A versus Uganda. So this will be a Kenyan line-out. Joseph Amalemba to feed the ball into the line-out.
Once
very
again,
messy line-up there. Taken out, so it will be a Kenyan line-out again.
Well, William, the lineouts for both sides have been one of the weak points, probably something that both teams would actually go and work on as they continue with their preparations for the Car Cup Under-19 Championships in slightly over a month's time.
Yes, absolutely. It's one thing they really have to work on. I've only seen 2-3 clean Kenya line-out throws.
And the same for the Ugandans.
Yes.
Meanwhile, play resumes.
Play resumes, and it's Kenya trying to do a rolling maul, but Mukolwe, here comes Billy Sabwa, dancing his way there to the defense. Not a very good offload there. And Kenyans have actually gone backwards from a very attacking position, but they will attack here. Marvin Mukolwe, not a good break there, but
Geoffrey Oloch taking the ball into contact and also taking down his man. And that is Herman Humwa. He's not the fastest of players, but he gains good ground for the Kenyans. His final pass, not the best. Turnover turned over, and it's possession turned over now with Uganda. The Ugandans are living dangerously in this game.
Yes, absolutely. The Ugandans are living dangerously. He's dropped the ball there. He's dropped the ball there from a very attacking position. Kenya missed an opportunity to really hammer the Ugandan nail. So Uganda can breathe. The Ugandans can breathe. And there are a couple of injuries on the pitch as we speak here.
One Ugandan player, one Kenyan player down, and both of them receiving attention from their respective medics. Meanwhile, not in our picture, the Kenyans preparing to make a substitution. Keith Wasike going to come on, as in our screens we see the Kenya Lionesses just preparing for their game against the Uganda Rugby Cranes, and the Lady Cranes, I beg your pardon, and that is going to be a battle royale, as is typical of the games between those two sides. Meanwhile, the Kenyans have made a substitution. Off goes Warren Nyanjom. He's been a handful for the Ugandans, and in his place comes Keith Wasike.
Yes. Keith Wasike comes in for Warren Nyanjom. If you're just joining us, we are live on Zuku Sports here at the RFUEA Ground in Nairobi. It's Elgon Cup day, the first game of the day going on between Kenya under-19 versus Uganda under-19. Kenya leading on aggregate by 34 points to 20. And they're leading 24 points to 5. 15 minutes gone in the first half. And it's going to be a Kenya ball. The Ugandans have not gotten out of their own half in this second half. A snapshot of the fans that are here at the RFUEA ground.
Meanwhile, the Kenyans have made another substitution. Off goes Billy Isabwa. Seems he hasn't recovered from the effects of that knock he sustained a few minutes ago. And in his place, slots in Daniel Aboji. I beg your pardon, not Daniel Aboji, but Kanyiri Kariuki. Meanwhile, a goal attempt, Marlin Mukolwe.
With a penalty here. Kenya been given a penalty here. Just trying to keep the scoreboard ticking. Mukolwe with a penalty kick. It's in. So it's 27 points to 5.
And William, one observation with Mukolwe is that he's been able to nail the kicks that usually give Kenyan kickers problem, yes. From those tight angles, he's been pretty good with them. That one was not from a straightforward angle by a Kenyan perspective, but he's got it, and you probably feel that if he just refines his skills, this is somebody who would be an asset for the future.
Absolutely, Michael Kwambo. I mean, I'm impressed with Marvin Mukolwe's kicking from the tee and even from the penalties and the conversions. Very good kicking, very instrumental, and once again, an asset for Kenya Rugby going forward in the years to come.
And Mukolwe's penalty.
Not a very good kick there, but well retrieved by the Ugandans. And the Ugandans will get a try here. And they have scored a try. The Ugandans score a try here. It was a very poor kick from Kanyiri Kariuki. The Kenyan defense was turned over. And the Ugandans have scored their second try of the game.
And it's that man we've been talking about, Edrin Kaima.
Edrin Kaima with a try. The hooker, who's playing like a back. So Uganda with a try. And the conversion is good. So that pushes the score to 27-12. The Ugandans showing they're not done yet. They're not going without a fight. So it's 27 points to 12.
On aggregate, the scores are now
So on aggregate score now, it stands at 34 points. 37 points to
37-27 on aggregate.
37.
It's a 7-pointer as we speak.
It's a 7-pointer as we speak.
Remember,
so Uganda not out of the woods yet.
Come inside. Come inside.
It's a 10-pointer as we speak. So the aggregate score is 37-27. The Ugandans are still very much in this game as we speak, having scored that try and the conversion. So they are trailing by 10 points, and we've done 60 minutes. Done an hour of this game. Elgon Cup under 19 category. Kenya 27, Uganda 12.
Gone back, play.
Malvin Mukolwe. Kanyiri. Here comes Tyson Okoth. Tyson Okoth. Can they get good clean ball? Yes, Mukolwe again. Good play there from Amalemba, who's
number 2.
A ferocious scrummager and very strong on the loose.
Step back. Fine.
Kenya penalized there for a knock-on. The crowd were baying for the referees, also saying it was probably offside from the Ugandan defense there. Simon Muniafu having an exchange with the referee. So it's going to be a scrum fit for Uganda here. Adrian Casito, very quiet in the second half.
Back legs, back.
In the next 10 minutes are very critical for both sides. And the Ugandans win it there. Here comes the number 8, Pius Ogena, who scored their first try, but they are penalized. After some argy-bargy going on between Derek Atukasibwe.
Well, that argy-bargy, William, would probably be attributed to the adrenaline, the aggression. Remember, both sides want different outcomes from this game. And they'll work to ensure that happens. Meanwhile, the noisy Ugandan fans not in our picture.
The Ugandan fans making a lot of noise, seem to be excited. That try has really galvanized the Ugandan fans. So here comes the Kenyan scrum half, Marvin Mukolwe with the fit to his scrum. He feeds it again, Mukolwe. In comes, good break there.
That was Michael Wanjala.
Step back. Use it.
Amalemba just marshalling his troops there as Mukolwe looks for a clean ball.
Good face play there from the Kenyans. Taking the ball up very well in contact. Mukolwe again. Oh, Simon Muniafu.
Just taking his eyes off the ball.
There.
In what seemed like a promising position for Kenya.
A very promising attack there for Kenya. Stopped in his tracks there from a loose ball by some very sloppy there by Simon Muniafu. So it's going to be a scrum fit for the Ugandans. 63 minutes gone. It's Kenya 27, Uganda 12, and on aggregate it's 37 for Kenya, 27 for the Ugandans. The game is on a knife edge as we speak.
But Uganda will need to pile in 11 points at this point. But the attacking impetus is with Kenya. Though the scrum down on the Ugandan 22 is in the Ugandan's favor, it's going to be a Uganda put-in. Adrian Kasito. Remember, we saw him play during the Bamburi Rugby Super Series.
Come out.
Tumeichukua jo.
Kenya 27, Uganda 12 here at the RFUEA Grounds. Very hot sunny day to start with, but now the weather seems to be getting a little bit warm, and maybe at some point it might get chilly because the sun has just disappeared from our view.
William, interestingly, probably a fact we forgot to mention earlier on in the game is that both sides, the under-19 sides, have served as the pipeline for stars, because for the Kenya under-19s, many players have come through the system, the likes of Kenyan Ndola, Philip Omae, Biko Adema. I mean, for the Ugandans as well, you've seen Justin Chimono.
Absolutely. Very well said, Michael Kwambo. Michael Wanjala. Good play from him there, by the way. Took the ball into contact. Malvin Mukolwe, Simon Muniafu needs to carry the ball well here and gain some parity here for the forwards. Mukolwe again, gang tackled by the Ugandans there, but Mukolwe, Kenya still maintain possession. Mukolwe,
that's Kanyiri.
Kanyiri, not a good pass there.
But
Need to improve on that. Can they get something here? Muniafu.
Taking it into contact. The Kenyans arrive in numbers there. Mukolwe looking out, probably seeking to play it too. That was not the best of kicks there.
The ball has gone out.
You just feel the concentration levels of the Kenyans beginning to dip.
Yeah.
Marlin Mukolwe didn't look up before attempting that chip, and it would have been disastrous.
Yeah.
But it still puts the Ugandans in a promising position.
Yeah, the Ugandans
but they will have
seem to be growing in confidence as we speak right now.
Pinning the Kenyans into their own 22. It's a Kenyan throw-in from the line-out.
For the second time in this game. Not a very good line-out there.
The Ugandans retrieving it.
Are smelling blood. Ugandans are smelling blood here as we speak.
They're finishing strongly, William.
Finishing strongly, yes. And they are penalized by the referee.
1-2.
And Kenya can survive. Kenya can breathe a huge sigh of relief there. Because that was their own line-out throw, which was pinched by the Ugandans. It's 66 minutes gone. Uganda 12, Kenya 27. Kenya leading on aggregate by 10 points. As we stand, it's Kenya 37, Uganda 27. The game is on a knife edge, Michael Kwambo.
It is. Remember, the Ugandans just need 11 points, and they're looking as though at this point in time they can land any form of points on the board. And remember, once they just get, even if it's 3 or 5 points, they would definitely like to build from there. But they'll have to be patient, they'll have to be disciplined.
Absolutely. Kenya started on a house on fire in the first 15 minutes, but the fire has just been quenched.
Well, I think it was a matter also of just catching the Ugandans.
Once again, very poor line-out throw from the Kenyans. It will be sad for the Kenyan team who have done all the hard work in the first half and then early part of the second half to throw away this game. Can the Ugandan? No, the referee has said no.
We have a man down. That was the earlier incident where Uganda just retrieved the ball from the Kenyan lineout. As you said, William, not the best of lineouts from the Kenyans. The Ugandans rising in ascendancy as the game continues.
Yeah, the Ugandans seem to be building up a steam here. They seem to be finishing this game the much stronger side. And the Kenyan forwards now are having a chat here.
As a Ugandan player gets treatment, not in our picture, but he seemed to have been knocked out cold. He's up on his feet. Seemed to be a magic touch, or probably an electric shock delivered to him.
Wasn't that really injured, by the way?
You never know.
68 minutes gone here. The RFUEA ground. It's an Elgon Cup day here between Kenya and Uganda under 19. Kenya leading by 27 points to 12 and leading also on aggregate by 37 points to 27. This game is on a knife edge on aggregate because a Ugandan score, a Ugandan try and a conversion and a penalty, we will be tied. So can Kenya find that momentum they had early in the second half? They need it. The Ugandans are really finding their footing.
This is in a promising position for the Ugandans. If only they can retain possession from this. And that was Ogena taking it in. They're putting the Kenyans on the back foot. They're driving forward. Adrian Casito delivering it there. And that is our man, Edrin Kayima. I mean, this boy should play at center or number 10, but he's playing at hook. He's nimble-footed.
He's nimble-footed, yeah. The Kenyan defense there are being stretched.
And something about his nimble-footedness that you don't see in the front row, because those are big guys.
Yes.
The hooker is usually just a guy who runs, but just faster than the rest of the front row.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
tell me when time's up. Okay.
Ugandans surging into the Kenyan territory. They're agonizingly close to the Kenyan try line. It'll be their throw-in from the line out.
Good break there by Simon Muniafu. He needs to relieve of that pressure, and Kenya finding some ball here. They need to clear their lines and play territorial for the next 10 minutes. 10 minutes to go.
Remember, they lead 27-12 and 37-27 on aggregate. And as the game continues, they want to deny the Ugandans any opportunity to pile on.
After badges. There's a full-blooded fight going on at the touchline there. Some aggression there. Looks like Tyson Okoth to me.
Living up to the name of the person he was named after, Mike Tyson.
And the referee had called for a Kenyan infringement, actually a Kenyan infringement, not releasing the ball from the tackler. So it's going to be a Uganda ball. Kenya not doing themselves any favors there, by the way. There was a neat break by Simon Muniafu, and they just couldn't get into a couple of phases and to play territorial. So Uganda with the attacking impetus. 8 minutes to go to the end of the first half. Kenya 27, Uganda 12, and on aggregate it's Kenya 37, Uganda 27.
And if it stays like this, the Kenyans will be awarded the Elgon Cup Under-19 title, becoming the first winners of this category of the Elgon Cup. Remember, if you're watching at home, you can follow the conversation on Facebook or Twitter by using the hashtag Elgon Cup, which appears on the right-hand corner at the bottom of the screen.
And Victor Oduor, I guess, is reading the riot act, laying down the letter of the law to both players and to both captains.
Yeah, well, you know, the referee needs to do that, especially after that altercation down there. I mean, rugby is a game that can be aggressive, but it is controlled aggression. And that was degenerating into uncontrolled aggression, popularly referred to as a brawl.
And I think both players have been sent to the sin bin. And they are going on, by the way. the referee really has to calm down these players down. Tyson Okoth and Isaac Tago of Uganda. And they're both sitting next to each other. Hopefully there's someone there who will act as a peacemaker.
Well, they'll finish the game with 14 men, both sides.
No, it's not 19, okay? It's not 19. No, I'm not going according to my watch, okay?
The advantage in terms of possession, in terms of territory, is with the baby cranes. However, they're chasing the game. They're chasing this particular match by 15 points, and overall, for the title, they're chasing by 11 points. So they have a target. The question is whether they can attain that target within the time remaining.
So after all that skirmish and Ajibaju going on, it's a penalty for the Ugandans. So it's going to be a penalty for the Ugandans. Does it get in? It has gone out. It has gone out. So the score still remains 27 points to Kenya, 12 points to Uganda. Less than 10 minutes to go here, the RFUEA Ground. Then under 19 category. Kenya lost the first leg 15-10, but are leading here by 27 points to 12. And on aggregate are leading by 10 points, 37 to 27. Good kick there from Kenya. Simon Muniafu. Kenyans not chasing this ball. Good play there from the Ugandans. And the Kenyans are counter-racking. They have counter-racked. And it's going to be a Uganda ball. Well, the clock has been reset again. The clock has been reset again, so we are actually entering the final 10 minutes of this game after all that skirmish we saw between Tyson Okoth and Isaac Tago. I guess both players won't be coming back into this game. They have both been sent to the sin bin, so both players, or both teams rather, are playing with 14 men. 10 minutes to go.
Black ball. Yeah, the center, please.
Well, not in our picture, but one of the sighting officers, Justice Ngoche, giving a talking to both sets of players who are in the sin bin, Tyson Okoth and Isaac Tago. It seems the emotions have spilled over to the sin bin. Hopefully, our director will get us a shot of that at some point of the game.
The Ugandans.
It's a nice chip, but straight into the hands of the Kenyans. And that is Alex Olaba, hard-running Kenya winger.
Kenya, the referee has already pointed out an advantage to them.
Kanyeri Kariuki playing the ball in.
Looks like Malvin Mukolwe has gone out. No, the referee would give a try anyway, if it was scored.
And he penalizes the Ugandans.
Penalizes the Ugandans.
As we just have a view of the two aggressing parties in the sin bin.
In your
Kenya's
picture there, Tyson Okoth and Isaac Tago, who even despite after being talked to by the ref, still continue with the argy-bargies.
Tyson Okoth looks relaxed. Isaac Tago looks distraught.
Well, if you're just joining us, this is the Elgon Cup under 19 category here at the RFUEA Ground. It's Kenya 27, Uganda 12. Less than 8 minutes to go here. And Kenya leading on aggregate by 37 points to 27. Still, the game is on a knife edge, remember. Ugandans just need 11 points to win it outright. So Kenya here with a breather can manage to play territorial. And I'm just thinking Kenya have lost their shape, Michael Kwambo, with the exit of Malvin Mukolwe and Billy Sabwa.
Well, probably the rhythm is, as you mentioned, has been disrupted by the substitutions, but I would also think that the Ugandans have actually stepped up to them because, as we mentioned earlier on, the Kenyans were hot off the blocks at the start of the second half.
Yes,
the Ugandans were caught cold. It took a while for the Ugandans to come back into the game in the second half, and they have done that. They've actually been pinning the Kenyans. and they're chasing the game.
So Kenya line out here in the Ugandan half. Not a very clean ball, but Kenya still win the ball there in the line out, and they're doing a rolling ball again. Rolling ball there from the Kenyan. Now Kanyiri has gone to scrum half. The referee once again has penalized the Kenyan team. Don't know what call that was for.
Wait. It's okay.
The referee stops clock.
How much?
The last time I checked was 4 minutes, but mine is running.
Once again, consulting with the assistant referee, Alan Wanjoi.
Okay.
And then he takes a look at his watch.
So it's going to be a Ugandan scrum here.
Easy, relax. Chill, it's their ball. Okay? It's their ball. Calm down.
Kanyiri and Casito trying to get the best possible advantage for both teams or for themselves.
Only both sides.
Casito with the feed. And it's very messy. Will be taken out there. Taken out. So it's going to be a Uganda ball. I think the last ball came off a Kenyan player. Jimmy Mwangi there.
Yes, it did come off a Kenyan player, William.
Taking out Adrian Casito.
You can't.
The lineout has already been formed. 6.5 minutes to go to the end of this first Elgon Cup match of the day between Kenya under 19 versus Uganda under 19. Kenya leading by 27 points to 12 and leading on aggregate by 37 points to 27. Now Uganda, can they build up something here? That looked like a net tackle to me.
What can't you see?
And Uganda on the attack again. Casito. Tackle there. Very, very good Kenyan defense there. And the referee. Says the Kenyan team was offside. Musogena. And there will be another yellow card.
You have to go outside, okay? You have to go outside. Yeah, it's okay. Fair play, fair play.
Kenya will be playing with 13 men, it looks like. And out goes Haman Humwa. Yes. Haman Humwa goes out, and Kenya playing with 13 men for the next 5 minutes. So Uganda on the attack. Uganda on the attack again. They need 10 points. So Kenya now will have to play with 13 men for the next 2 minutes.
And you just feel the Kenyans are losing their head and their discipline, William.
Not doing himself any favors there by penalizing the Kenyans.
And William, I was just mentioning earlier.
Uganda on the attack again.
As I was mentioning earlier, William, you just
Uganda
feel
on
the Kenyans are losing their head and their discipline. I mean, they're down to 13 men. This is a very crucial part of the game.
Crucial part of the, yes, absolutely, Michael Kwambo.
And it's all Uganda as we speak. That's Colin Kimboa taking the ball in. Adrian Casito playing in Robert Masendi. This looks promising for the Ugandans. Well, the ball goes out and
looks like Tyson Okoth could be coming back into this game.
That was the last order of business. And Kenya have won the inaugural Elgon Cup under-19 with a 27-12 win over Uganda's Baby Cranes on aggregate 37-27.
Yeah, a very scrappy second half, particularly the last 10-15 minutes with the sin bins and the yellow cards coming in. I think both teams lost their shape, particularly Kenya, by the way. Particularly Kenya. And the Ugandans seem to be fighting amongst themselves here. Seem to be having an argument here. So Kenya winning the first trophy of the day, beating the Uganda under-19 27 points to 12, winning the game 37 points to 27 on aggregate. A very scrappy second half. Just generally a very scrappy game between both sides. Kenya finishing the game with 13 men. And Kenya winning the under-19 category here, 37 points to 27, having lost the first leg by 15-10. Coming up at 2 o'clock will be the Kenya Lionesses against the Uganda Lady Cranes. Billy Sabo scoring that third try of the afternoon and putting a nail into the coffin of the Ugandans. So Kenya victorious for the Elgon Cup and 19 category. And there will be a trophy presentation after this. The two sets of players now shaking their hands, saluting each other. Rugby, of course, is a gentleman's game. And despite the many battles on the pitch, both players saluting each other. Uganda will be going home empty-handed. And Kenya ready to enter into the fray now. Will be the women's game. The Kenya team now receiving their silverware, their pieces of trophies. So, Kenya team receiving their trophies there. A job well done for the Kenya under-19 team. They did a very good job, particularly in the early part of the second half. And towards the end of the first half, they did a very good job. So Kenya, 27, Uganda 12, and an aggregate 37-27, a 10-point margin.
Now we have the presentation to the winners of the under-19 category. The inaugural under-19 category.
Kenya under-19.
Congratulations to the champions, Kenya under-19, the Chipu.
And the Kenyan team, they are celebrating winning the under-19 trophy there. Good job there for Kenya under-19, and congratulations to Pau Murunga for a job well done. And tougher tests lie in wait, of course, when they go to play in the Confederation of African Rugby next month in Namibia. This is ideal preparation, but they'll face standard tests next year, next month.
Rudisha is ready. Are you? Scrum Down, an all-new rugby magazine show that focuses on the region's rugby scene.
Back up, Red.
Player profile.
I started playing rugby back in high school.
Analysis. And a look at the legends from East Africa. Watch Scrum Down every Friday at 7:30 p.m. only on Zuku Sports.
And that is the end of that. The Kenya under-19s Chipu managing to overcome the Ugandan counterparts, traveling all the way with the trophy, but they're going to be leaving it here. So Kenya under-19 become the inaugural champions over this Elgon Cup for the under-19s. And Mike, I know, a bit disappointed, but of course, there are always lessons in every game.
True. In every game, there are lessons that have to be taken away. We can look at some of the combinations that we put forward, and some of them did not gel very well. However, I would also like to say that what I had placed on the table in the earlier commentary we had, which was the contribution of the ref to the game.
Yes.
Okay, it's a little bit sad because when the Kenya team came to Kampala, we had the same comments.
Okay, that the refereeing was not up to scratch.
Was not up to scratch.
Okay.
And we said we put our best foot forward. And when we have come here, we have felt like, sincerely, there are some calls which we could not believe were made from any rugby book, whether league or union.
Okay.
Right? Maybe a soccer book, something of the sort. But I would say going forward, with all our tournaments, let's have the international tournaments handled by international referees. Something like, let's have CAR give us referees from other countries so that they can actually officiate over the games and we cannot have anything else to say about it.
Okay.
A couple of the calls
Michael is bringing it down to issues of officiating. Tank, I don't know if we share the same sentiments in terms of officiating, in terms of bringing international referees for international games.
Really, you can't talk about officiating in that game because I felt the referee did a very good job, right, in officiating that game. And it's not officiating. I think the Ugandans must just accept, that really Kenya outplayed them in that game. My only problem with our boys in the second half is that the last 20 minutes, last 30 minutes, they got a bit overconfident.
Okay.
And they almost allowed Uganda
to come back
into the game. Yeah, they lost their structure. And they almost allowed Uganda to come back into the game. That is what was worrying me.
So towards the end of the game, when you think it's done and dusted, it's never over until it's over.
It's never over until it's over. And they should have piled more and more points, right? Yeah, but you cannot really say that because there is only a 10 or 12 point difference.
It just takes 2 tries for that thing to be
and
overturned.
remember, we were chasing 6 points.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mike, just to bring you in about now with issues of players and gelling. I know you've missed on some of the key players from Kampala. Your standoff was not there. Your fullback, you had to make some changes. You had 2 concussions in the previous game. So do you think that actually affected the game in a big way?
Well, if we look at one of the concussions we had in Kampala, that is a star player. He's actually the one who broke the line 2 times.
Yes.
He was actually the one who scored the first try, Alhaji Manano. And yes, we have missed him during this leg. And we believe that he would have made a difference if he was on the side.
Okay.
However, I must say, yes, we did have good boys on the team.
Okay, lessons learned, and we say that congratulations to Chipu, that is the Kenya Under-19 team, for winning the inaugural tournament of the Elgon Cup 2014 for the Under-19s. We are going for a short break, and when we come back, we will dive into ladies rugby, Kenya versus Uganda.